want to share with you my post-cancer recovery plan. Now, this is kind of a very uplifting subject for me. It's very emotional, but I'm so proud to say that I'm a 6-month lung cancer survivor. Now, the anniversary of cancer and what you consider yourself to be a survivor can vary from person to person. Some people consider their anniversary when they were diagnosed, others when their cancer treatment concluded. And I considered it once my chemotherapy concluded. I have a 4-pronged approach that I want to tell you about, as well as some of the mistakes that I made that in retrospect I would do differently. It's just something that I like to do to reassess what has happened in my life, kind of put my priorities in perspective. Now, my plan isn't based on a particular model. I did my research, I spoke to many doctors, therapists, friends, other cancer survivors, and I kind of created something that is working for me. There is no guarantee that my cancer won't come back or I won't get a different cancer. That's the human condition. But these are steps that I can do to help me to feel confident and to really live my life, whatever length of time that might be. It's a 4-pronged approach. It's medical, emotional, nutrition, and exercise. So medical, well, that's my doctors, my oncologist. It's trusting in these people, as well as trusting in my instincts. If something isn't sitting right, I speak up. It's kind of a new thing for me, medically speaking. I was always blessed with really good health, so it was never really an issue. I don't have that practice in my past, but I'm fortunate. I have a wonderful care team, from my primary to my specialists, my surgeons, wonderful people. Very, very grateful and lucky. I continue to follow up with routine scans, routine now, post-cancer, as well as preventative cares, different tests, blood tests, colonoscopies, all that terrible stuff. But that keeps me ahead of the game, so to speak. So if something does happen, we can hopefully catch it sooner rather than later. And that produces the best odds going forward. So now the second area in my recovery is emotional. And I really feel this to be a really important one that I easily would have overlooked in the past. I try and stay positive. Doesn't mean every day is a wonderful day, but I try and find something wonderful throughout the day. Something minor. Beautiful bird in flight, the smile of a good friend, sometimes an off-color joke. These are things that, well, give me a lift. It's very enjoyable. I also try and keep a positive attitude. I try and stay calm. Things that in the past may have infuriated me or pushed my buttons, well, they don't mean as much anymore. In a couple of days, I don't even remember them. That's kind of a blessing that came out of this cancer process for me. I also try and just see the beauty in things, the simplicity of things. The sunrises, I mean, it's not very simple, but it's gorgeous. And each day truly is a gift. I have wonderful family and friends, and being grateful for them, well, that's an emotional boost too. It's a mindset. And honestly, the more I do it, the easier it is to spot these little miracles in my life and to have an appreciation for things. And it's a great feeling. So there's another wonderful thing that came out of the cancer process. Now, exercise is a big area for me. I've always enjoyed being physical and working out, but now I make a point to do it daily. I'm not so much worried about getting in 10,000 steps or 5,000 steps or whatever that marker is, but I try and shoot for 2 hours of exercise a week. That could be walking, tennis, working out, picking up a ball, anything. It's enjoyable. Even if I walk at a leisurely pace where I can talk, I can feel my blood pumping, and things are good. I have a watch that tells me how much activity I have, and I have done very well with the activity. It's a way to distract me from any type of anxiety or concerns that I have. And I feel like that exercise component is crucial for me in my life. The last component I have is nutrition. Now, this is kind of controversial. People like to eat certain foods, They don't like to eat other foods. I'm no different. But I do have a few parameters that I've established that I really target every day. The first one being getting enough protein. Now, I try and get at least 70 grams of protein a day. That's a lot higher than I've ever done, except when I was pregnant. But it's important for me. It helps recover. I'm still recovering from the chemotherapy process because that is really grueling. And the protein helps me along with that. I try and get enough water. These are things that everybody should be doing anyway, but with what I'm working on, the water and the protein are crucial. I've eliminated a few things from my diet altogether, and this is perhaps where the controversy comes in. I don't drink alcohol at all anymore. There is indication that perhaps drinking alcohol can raise your risk of cancer. There's also indication that moderate drinking is not a problem. I've chosen to avoid it altogether. It's just something I do. Might not be a choice for someone else. I also avoided all processed foods. I don't eat meats like from the deli, processed meats. I used to love a good sandwich, ham sandwich or deli sandwich, but no longer. So these are just little things that I have done that make me feel a little more empowered. Is there proof that avoiding these things will not cause cancer? I'm not sure there's proof. There's some thoughts that that might be, but that's enough for me to make that decision. I try to incorporate more vegetables into my diet. I think a plant-forward approach is great, but I also want that protein, so I do eat meat. It's not a moral issue for me. It's just something that I feel I need to do. And the protein shake has become my best friend. If I'm low on protein, I'll just have a shake at the end of the day, or in the middle of the day, perhaps. So it is somewhat convenient. Now the areas where, well, I learned from them, I kind of wish I could go back and do them differently. I wish I would have accepted more help from friends. I have a wonderful assortment of friends. They'd send me texts and call, send even letters in the mail because they knew I chose to do it myself. It's just me and my husband trying to tackle this cancer. I didn't want to see anyone. I wasn't feeling great, and that can feel lonely. But at the same time, I think I didn't want to be vulnerable with others. I had one good friend. This was a tip that I learned that was wonderful. She would just text me, maybe every week, maybe not, maybe every couple weeks. Daniela, I'm thinking of you. No need to respond. And I can't tell you how just knowing she was thinking of me without me having to do anything about it was very uplifting and supportive. It's a technique I use now with others, even not cancer related. If someone's going through a hard time, if they want to talk, that text lets them know I'm there, but there is no pressure for them to respond. It's a very helpful tip, and I'm indebted to Franny for that. The second area is along those same lines. When I had my cancer diagnosis, we started treatment, I asked my daughters, my two daughters, not to come see me. They were so supportive. They told me they'd do whatever I wanted. This was going to be on my terms. I missed them terribly, but it was very hard for me as a mother to see them see me going through what I was going through. When I got enough strength throughout the treatments and afterwards, I realized that being vulnerable in front of them and letting them see me at my weakest was not a bad thing. They were supportive the entire time. We stayed in contact as much as I could. And I know behind the scenes, they were very active with my doctors, with my husband. I adore them for that. I'm grateful to them for giving me that space and that control over something in my life. But I do regret not including them closer and being able to hug them physically. They are just wonderful, and they have proven that to me time and time again. So I learned a lot from what I went through. I'm looking forward to going more time, and I'll be learning more things as well. Each person who recovers from cancer goes through, I think, the same feeling where they think, well, I've finished treatment, so therefore I'm out of the woods. Or I They think that it's part hope. And I think people who haven't dealt with cancer assume that. Oh, are you cancer-free? And they say things like this that seem genuine. But to a cancer survivor, we know we're never truly cancer-free. We hope we are. There's no indications we have cancer. But there's something about that wording that kind of bites at us. We don't want to jinx it. Recovering from cancer is ongoing, and it's changed my life. It will be part of my life for the rest of my life. And I've accepted that, and I am ready to go to battle with that, or not battle. So that's where I am in my cancer journey. I know a lot of you have recovered from cancer, some of you from multiple cancers, and some far worse than mine. If you have techniques that you use that you find helpful to you in your life, please comment below. Not only would I love to hear about them and learn from them, but many people would as well. I want to thank you for your support. That goes along with my emotional health and how grateful I am for everyone who reached out, sent a kind word, or even just a heart in the comments. Thank you again for your support. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Thank you for joining me today.